Hello ladies and gents, I'm here to review The Guilty. Now this is the 2021 movie, not the 2018 version, which I wasn't aware of at all, so slap my wrist, I guess. This is a remake, and it's interesting, quite literally just trying to get some images to use here. So many articles coming up with, this is the unnecessary remake, this is blah 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 blah, all this kind of stuff. And I think that's a good starting off point, isn't it? Because it is a remake. It's a remake of a 2018 film. The original title was Den Skildij. I've butchered that, I'm aware. But it's different country, right? It's different country. I think it's like Netherlands or Danish or something like that. And the story's the same. Like literally everything's the same. I'm looking at the poster. That looks pretty similar. There's... Yeah, it looks very similar. A police officer assigned alarm dispatch duty enters a race against time when he answers an emergency call from a kidnapped woman. So it's basically the same film. I know lots of people will be like, well, yeah, duh, that's what a remake is. But I wasn't aware of it. And the thing is, this film is really, really good. The 2021 film was really good. I really enjoyed it. So I think, the discussion of whether this is an unnecessary remake actually needs to be had straight away. Is this unnecessary? No, I completely disagree. The original still exists, but this is also a good gateway for people that were not aware of it, like me. I review movies. This is one of the things that I do, but even I wasn't aware of that. And I know there's lots of people that were. I'm aware, but I don't know every single movie that existed. And this is a very good gateway. And you couldn't have used a better actor in the lead role, Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, really good. It's not one of those kind of, I would have agreed it was an unnecessary remake if you had someone like Jason Statham, right? Or Steven Seagal. Someone like that in the lead role. I would have agreed, yes, wholly unnecessary, but you're using an actor that may not necessarily elevate the original performance, but definitely puts out a very good performance. And this is a very good performance from Jake Gyllenhaal. It's actually a very well shot film. So just to get on to just brief bits of information about this one. It's an hour and 30. It's stars anyway, Jake Gyllenhaal, a whole bunch of voice actors, but it's just singular. It's literally just Jake Gyllenhaal. And the director was Antoine Fuqua. But it looks like a lot of the original people were back on it, or at the very least helped with it in some shape or another. Or at least they've got credits anyway, for the 2018 one. It's the same story. A demoted police officer assigned to call dispatch desk is conflicted when he receives an emergency phone call from a kidnapped woman. And then there's this sort of subplot running along it as well. So he's been demoted for a reason, and the next day, it's quite contrived, but the next day he is going to the courthouse to stand trial for murder, basically. And yeah, it's a little bit contrived, but it adds a lot of tension because he's conflicted between answering that but answering the calls. Is he doing this? Is he doing the right thing? And, as much as I say it's contrived, it rounds itself up and ties itself in a nice bow at the end as a good reason as to why it was added. But again, I'm not too sure whether it's in the original. I don't know. But in this one, it works out quite well because the events of the film cause him to have a change of heart, and without that, you would have maybe had a satisfying conclusion to a degree, but this gives a much, much, much more satisfying conclusion because there's very real risk involved to the character. And the thing is, how do you give this character risk? He's sat in an office. The only risk is emotional. It's the risk at large here is just emotional and mental. So having him have, a challenge of consciousness and conscience is really, really smart, I thought. Now, the cinematography is actually really, really well done. This is a beautifully graded film. You can see it here. The editing, they've done a very, very good job. Stellar work. The contrast between wide angles. This is very clearly a wide angle shot. I mean, there's literally more of it here, but I didn't put it all in the image. I mean, that's a very nice wide angle shot with close up, very close personal shots. Flitting between the two gives a good air of what this guy is thinking. You know, when he's up close and he's getting angry, and it's another way that the camera helps the actor emote through the screen. And I thought they did a very good job there, actually. The music was surprisingly good. It's not a movie that you'd think that there'd be lots of music, and there wasn't. Admittedly, there wasn't lots of music, but there was enough, and it was impactful enough. The set pieces, I mean, it's literally just it's an office, isn't it? It's a dispatch centre, but I think they did very well with it. And having multiple screens, I mean, this may very well be what it looks like. I don't know. But in terms of how they utilise this, if it is what they actually have, I think they did a very good job flitting, again, cinematographer-wise, from screen actor, phone call. You know, what the... I can't remember the term, diegetic noise. Basically what the actor is hearing and what we are hearing, flitting between the two. Very, very nicely done. And these little moments of sort of... you know, sort of mini mental breakdowns that this character receives. Very, very good. Jake Gyllenhaal is a great actor. This is a great performance from him. Yeah, he's been in some amazing stuff. Southpaw, Nightcrawler. He's an exceptionally good actor. And he really held his own here. Really held his own. And yeah, like, I'd like to see him in more stuff, to be honest. I feel like he was actually quite wasted in the Marvel movie. I can't remember which one it was. Spider-Man Far From Home, I think it was. Really, really wasted in that because he's a fantastic bloody actor. Would love to see him in more things. And actually, it's movies like this and sort of smaller indie productions with semi-auteur directors where they excel, where he specifically excels, and he needs to be in more of these things because he's so, so good. So if you've seen it, let me know what you think. And I guess more specifically, let me know whether you agree or disagree, whether it was a pointless remake or not, or if you've seen the original. Again, I stand by the fact that this is not a pointless remake because it gives people the knowledge that it is a remake and the original exists, but it holds its own because they gave respect to the original by at least choosing good actors. And that's important. Again, it would have been an unnecessary remake if they'd chosen a shit actor, but they chose a very good one. And for that, I would say, yeah, watch it. It's a good film. So if you have seen it, let me know what you think. If you haven't, are you going to go watch it? Let me know any and all thoughts down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Thanks so much. Take care.